What's up, everyone, and welcome to ClearTalk. So, in this video, yes, we are talking about the hill that apparently the Trump administration is willing to die on, and that hill is Abrego, Garcia. um, it is just this is just, and yes, we're talking about this again. I know I've done several shorts on it. I think I've even done a previous video on this just a few days ago. Um, this is the big thing in the news. This is the one thing that I think will kind of make or break um, the Trump regime. Let's be real here. When it comes to immigration and the policies that they've been uh, pursuing since he got into office. So we're going to talk this out a little bit more information that we've gotten even just today. And so yeah, thank you very much for joining me. If you if you like what I'm doing here, if I could get it out, please consider subscribing, like, share, comment, all that good stuff. Check out my other channels if you like a one-time donation there, or to Patreon, JMD Nation there, $3 a month. If you would like to support there, any kind of support you do give, though, is very appreciated, very much so. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. So yes, what has been going on? All right. So we know that we had the 9-0 decision by the Supreme Court that basically was saying, that they were upholding the lower federal court's decision to the point of facilitating, like that they needed to make an attempt at least to facilitate getting Garcia back from El Salvador. And that it didn't put like this forceful demand on it, but it was like, basically, yes, this is you are given, information that that this was wrongfully, executed, or he's sending him to El Salvador was an administrative error. That's what that was, according to their, the administration lawyers, which Trump turned around and fired. um, but yes, I mean, gave evidence, showed that he, was unlawfully sent to El Salvador to see COT, and then, and that the administration was to give daily updates on whether or not, how that facilitation was happening, what was going on. And basically they've just been pretty much damn near ignoring it. They've been turned. It's supposed to be turned in. I think it's like 5 o'clock every day or something. The supports have been that they've been late on turning it in. That what they have turned in was like just complete, like there was nothing there really. Or arguing that yes, he was still alive, but there was nothing. There's nothing that we could do. Blah blah blah. Whatever. I don't know. Of course, we had Bukele came Monday to visit the White House. I found it very interesting that, you could have even had him bring him then, right? I mean, he could have brought him back and this would all be, but no. Instead, Bukele, along with Trump and the rest of his minions up there, have completely doubled down on this situation, continuing to claim Garcia as a terrorist, continuing to claim him as being a part of MS-13, and even today, having the what's her name, this the press secretary, um, revealing a DHS document where he was domestic violence that the wife apparently made claim on in Maryland back in 2021. It's basically saying that this you know Kilmar Garcia had a history of violence and was not the upstanding Maryland man the media has portrayed him as. According to court filings, Garcia's wife sought a domestic violence restraining order against him, claiming he punched, scratched, and ripped off her shirt, amongst other harm. This MS-13 gang member is not a sympathetic figure. That was the Homeland Security Post. You had her continue going on berating, the media and Democrats and stuff, because today as well, you had a Democratic senator actually go to El Salvador to try to get connection with authorities there. He really wanted to actually talk to Bukele himself. When Bukele came Monday, he requested to see him then, but he did not. So that's one reason that initiated him to go to El Salvador today. I can't. I forget the. I forget the guy who actually did that. What is his name? I can't remember. Anyways, yeah, he went there today. The last thing I remember seeing was, I think he was having a hard time getting any kind of information about that, or like any extra information. But anyways, okay, so but I have an update for the wife. The wife did respond to this allegation for the or this DHS document that was released. So let me. Why did that not? Did I not have it? Display primary. Boom. There we go. Okay, my bad. All right. So yes, here we go. She responds to the restraining order. Her comments were, after surviving domestic violence in a previous relationship, I acted out of caution after a disagreement with Kilmar by seeking a civil protective order in case things escalated, she said. Things did not escalate, and I decided not to follow through with the civil court process. We were able to work through this situation privately as a family, including by going to counseling. Our marriage only grew stronger in the years that followed. No one is perfect and no marriage is perfect. That is not a justification for ICE's actions of abducting him and deporting him to a country where he was supposed to be protected from deportation. Kilmar has always been a loving partner and father, and I will continue to stand by him and demand justice for him. So, and of course, this is Jennifer Vasquez Saray, however you would say her name, the wife of Garcia from Maryland. Yeah, so she is claiming, giving, I would say, a fairly decent excuse for this. Clearly there was an argument, you could say a domestic argument between them. Maybe, he, it did say in there at one point that he punched her. I can't excuse that in any kind of way. The other part of it was that she scratched her or ripped her shirt or something, left a bruise on it. Maybe it was she was walking away. He grabbed at her or something to stop her. Anything could have happened to have caused anything like that. The bruise could have been from that. It could have been from the hit. I don't know what they mean by punch. There's a lot of nuance there. Like I said, domestic violence, you never want to be violent with your partner in any kind of way, really. I'm completely anti-violence or whatever. But she is claiming here that, she apparently out of fear because of her previous domestic violence issues in previous relationships. She, out of caution, went to file this thing to get started in case things got even crazier after that point. But she said it didn't. It de-escalated. They worked it out. She did not go through the process, and they were fine from there. Um, Seems like a sensible, uh, kind of a normal domestic issue here. As far as a relationship goes, I say normal, but like in the case of something like this happening, um, you know, early marriage, frustrations get out of hand. Things you do you don't mean to do, or don't shouldn't do. You learn from it. Hopefully, you grow from it and don't do it again. In this case, it appears, of course, according to her and what she states, that is what happened. Um, but this does not in any way state or show that he is a part of MS-13 or reflect that he should not be here in the States or anything like that. He already had that adjudicated with a judge previously that had him in a hold where he could not be deported because of fears of violence from El Salvador that he escaped from. This reason why he was here. Um, the only allegation that they have on him from MS-13 was from a supposed informant uh, to the officer at the time back in 2019 when their initial arrest was made and this whole thing was adjudicated back then. That officer was then even like released from, like, he was suspended or fired or something even weeks after that, because I mean it was a whole lot. There was a whole lot of things, and when my point is, it was already adjudicated in the courts even then, and no substance information was given, or they could find that he was anything that he was being accused of or anything like that. And so he was given protective status and should not have been sent anywhere. Everything that the administration has brought up on him has been either old news, stuff that's already been adjudicated, or was just things to try to create this, story or support for their actions against the judicial, process that is currently happening, where they're, the judges are trying to, at the very least, have him brought back so that they could, go through the official process, that he should have been given rights to, just like all the others that were sent there should have been given rights to, instead of just sending them there with, no court or anything, no way to plead their, case or anything, no judicial process whatsoever. And so, and the administration, along with Bukele, are just working together to argue that there's nothing they can do about it. And even today, the press secretary stating he will never be back here. Like she was saying with full confidence, he would not be back in the United States. He would not be a Maryland man again or Maryland father again. And if he did come back to the United States, he would be deported again. Like she put it in plain statement, with the utmost confidence. This is the hill that the Trump administration is seriously trying to die on. And this really could be the breaking point on all of these actions in it when it comes to immigration, at the very least. And it seems to just be really one of the stupidest ones that they could have tried to make a big deal of. You could have easily just been like, yep, okay, this was a mistake. Let's bring them back. Let's correct this, which in a normal situation, that's what you would have done. but they are doubling down. And if it and there's reason for that. There is reason for that. And it's pretty simple. They don't want him to come back. Why? Because they know they have sent all these people to this tortured prison in El Salvador that is a life sentence prison. A prison that is, you do not come out of. Once you enter, you do not come out of. That's the whole point of this prison. And if this person was allowed to be released, then that completely breaks on all fronts. It breaks the argument that Bukele has for the facility in El Salvador. It breaks the whole idea of the Trump administration in sending someone there and then having to, bring somebody back, and then open up the gates for every single one of them that was sent there to then have to, to be able to. It gives the president for them to be able to argue that, for them to come back. And then on top of that, knowing that if he does come back, press will be all over this. Press will be going crazy for this, and he'll be asked every question under the book, and he will have the complete ability to talk about everything that happened to him under this process and the conditions and stuff that he was put under in that facility, and it will be revealed to everybody in America exactly what we're doing. And the administration clearly does not want that to be known. Clearly does not want that to be seen. And if you are working that damn hard to hide, to prevent that condition from happening, from somebody coming back and being able to reveal what's going on, you're doing some shit. You're doing some shit that people will not like. This is the hill that they're trying to die on, and this is and now it's to the point that the judge is working up Judge Cesis, whatever her name is, that started this whole thing. Zenas or Zenas, whatever. Paula Zenas. She is full-fledged, like working up all the information, going through the P's and Q's and the process to hold the administration in contempt. Announcing, I think it was today or either yesterday, that they were going to start a 2-week process of investigation into the administration, pulling people from the administration as witnesses or to get information from, and a full investigation on this to determine to what extent the administration has tried to facilitate, and whether or not they have made any attempt, and therefore could be held in contempt. And then, if they're held in contempt, what then? Is the administration going to argue against it? Are they going to continue this, we don't care what you say tactic that they've been doing here lately with the judges? I don't know. It's yet to be seen. Trump seems to be awful damn bold right now and emboldened to do what he wants, no matter what we're talking about. There are so many, litigations being done across the board on all everything that they're doing. Whether it's in immigration, whether it's in your departments and stuff that they are tearing down, the treasury to I mean everything right now is being lawsuits and stuff being brought upon them. I mean, to the point that there was impeachment, an impeachment order, a resolution issued in Texas today by the Libertarian Party on this issue. I shit you not. The Libertarian Party of Travis County, Texas, has passed a resolution calling for Donald Trump to be impeached, accusing him of using lawless, dictatorial pronouncements that violate the constitutional separation of powers. The resolution cited the Trump administration inability to get Kilmar, Abrego, Garcia returned from El Salvadorian prison, threats to send American citizens threats to send American citizens to foreign prisons, and its deportation of legal U.S. residents due to their political viewpoints. Which is what they've been doing. They've been sending people, to El Salvador, to CCOT, 75% of which, at the very least, were not criminals, no criminal record whatsoever. There was only 5 of the original 238, I think it was originally sent. At this point, I think it's like 295 or something now that's been sent. But out of the original 238, only 5 of them had any kind of like violent crime, on record. The rest of them, any of the rest of that, those that had any kind of criminal like conviction or something on record were like minor crimes. They weren't violent crimes. Like little, But even so, 75% to 90% that was shown from Bloomberg. Anywhere between 75 and 90% of those original people were shown to have no criminal background whatsoever. Completely innocent people sent to CCOT. And I'm going to do a video strictly about CCOT, talking about this place. And then, of course, the threats on sending American citizens there, which they claim is going to be, the baddies, the worst of the worst here, whatever, our own homegrowns, as he said the other day. But I mean, if they're sending, people that they're claiming are criminals and they're not, I mean, what's going to stop them from just claiming somebody's a criminal here, a homegrown that's a criminal? Or, of course, you got your deportations of legal residents due to their political viewpoints that is stated there. We've had, ones that have been detained and sent for deportation for just simply having a political viewpoint about Palestinians or even about Trump himself. I mean, we had the French scientist that was sent back, denied entry into the U.S. and was sent back to France with his phone confiscated because they found material on his phone that was anti-Trump, based in science, like the anti-science side of the Trump administration, because he's a scientist. Like, now they deny that was the reason they sent him back, but it's pretty clear that's why they sent him back. But yeah, so the Libertarian Party is of Texas Travis County, Texas, has a resolution for impeachment on Donald Trump. On Tuesday, the Libertarian Party of Travis County passed a resolution called for the impeachment of Donald Trump and his removal from office. It accused the president of having taken an oath of office to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States with no obvious intentions of doing so. The resolution noted the case of Garcia, who was deported from Maryland to his home country of El Salvador in early April, following that the Justice Department called an administrative error. Garcia has been dispatched to a high-security prison in El Salvador despite having no criminal convictions. The U.S. government alleges he is linked to MS-13, a major crime gang, but Garcia's wife denies this, and his lawyers say the U.S. government has never produced any an iota has never produced an iota of evidence to support his unfounded accusations. That's funny. On April 10th, the U.S. Supreme Court of 9-0 ruling ordered the administration to facilitate the return. However, on Monday, Trump's team said it did not have the power to return, whilst Bukele said, how can I return him to the United States? Like, if I smuggle him to the United States, of course I'm not going to do that. The question is preposterous. We're not fond of releasing terrorists. That's not what we asked. We asked to release an innocent person, not a terrorist. The resolution also says Trump stated that he wants to send U.S. citizens to foreign prisons where they would certainly have no due process of law. This come after Trump said he would support sending U.S. criminals to El Salvador during his press conference with Bukele on Monday. According to Insider Higher Ed, at least 147 foreign students have had their visas to study in the U.S. revoked by the administration. That number is actually way higher now. It was, I think, now potentially up to 1,000 that have been revoked. Involved in pro-Palestinian activism. This was another issue raised by the Libertarian impeachment resolution, which said Trump administration was targeting U.S. legal residents for deportation due to their political viewpoints. Those the administration is trying to deport include Rumesu Ozturk. I've heard her name, but it's the first time I've attempted to say it. A 30-year-old Turkish doctoral student at Tufts University, who the Department of Homeland Security accused of engaging in activities in support of Hamas, though no evidence to that effect was provided. And it reads out here. That's a lot to read. The video is already getting a little long. But yes, so we have now an article resolution from the Libertarian Party of Travis County, Texas. I mean, this is where they're trying to apparently lay it all out on the line. Play their cards. And it's ridiculous. And I hope it blows up in their face. I truly do. I hope everything that has been said by the press secretary, I hope everything that was said by Trump himself or Vance or, any of them, I hope they eat their words. We will wait to see what happens from the senator of Maryland that went down there today, whether or not he actually is able to get access to Garcia to verify that he's even alive. But yeah, that's where we stand. Um, and I hope that they are held in contempt. I hope that this is litigated to the utmost. The Supreme Court will get back involved if that was the case, and yeah, this is ridiculous at this point, and it's crazy. And this is not like this is the only person. I mean, there are several of them that we know information about that are innocent, and you know, all of them respectfully should have had their stories blown up to this proportion, but you know, it happened to be Garcia's. That has gone so national, and you know, either way, at least one of them is getting to this point, so that we can actually hopefully have some sort of something finally break, and this administration start having to defend, like, oh, the word is have to deal with the repercussions of their actions, basically. And hopefully this is just the first stepping stone in, shitloads of cases and stuff that hopefully will then just fall, in their laps and break this administration down, this regime down. I've been calling for impeachment for a while now. I don't understand what it's taken so long for. The administration has broken the Constitution in a thousand ways. I mean, it's ridiculous at this point. Their fascism is on full display. Authoritarian dictator, intentions are full-fledged, and they need to be stopped. And they need to be stopped before they break too much stuff. Before it's broken, and will take years, if not decades, to fix. Relationships with other countries and everything. Something needs to happen. Let me know what you think about this whole case. And if I missed anything, please feel free to talk about that in the comments, message, whatever. And correct me if I made a mistake anywhere. No problem. I'm human. I might mess up and slip up or make a mistake somewhere in some bit of information. But yeah. Thank you very much for joining me. And until next time, peace. It's ClearTalk. I'm out.